Hello everyone and welcome you guys back to the YouTube channel, and today we're going to be giving our thoughts on the first race in the season, the first race of the F1 2026 new season with 22 races this year, and it was brilliant. It was very much a four-horse race in the sense of, obviously, spoilers if you haven't seen it, so make sure you got to watch the highlights and then come back and let me know your thoughts on the race down below, who you thought were standouts, what you thought about certain people's performances. This is going to be a weekly thing. I'm also going to be talking probably about F1 with Josh on Mondays, but this is my initial thoughts. I woke up this morning at 3:30, obviously 4 a.m. It starts in the UK. I think it's 5 a.m. next weekend for the China Grand Prix. So do stay tuned for my thoughts on that. And I'm going to be trying to watch every single race if I'm available. Obviously, more become a bit more realistic to watch when they're like 3 o'clock in the day. But sometimes being able to watch them in the morning means it doesn't take away from your day. So here's my thoughts on the F1 2026 Australia Grand Prix. Enjoy the video, subscribe like as always, and comment down below your thoughts and if you agree with my opinions. So initially, you thought Piastri would be up there, but he was obviously ruled out before the race had even started. So that was fun. One of the guys who was one of the top dogs last season is already out in his home on his home turf. And like I said, for the most part, this was a four-person race. You know, the second Charles took over at the start and became P1. He was going to finish in the top three. I think he's going to be up there this season again. He's a brilliant driver, and now they've done all the I don't know all the rules. I'm not a massive F1 fan, but from what I can see, you can see McLaren has definitely dropped off. Norris was fifth, but it didn't even feel like he was involved in the race at all. He was steady. He held fifth, I think, the entire race. But between Charles, Hamilton, Russell, Antonelli, they were fantastic as a four guys just constantly going. Antonelli was never really in the top four. He was always there or thereabouts. Uh, but Russell and Charles were back and forth. One was leading one lap, the other was leading the other lap. Hamilton, Antonelli did end up finishing second in the end, but for the most part of the race, those three led it, and then Antonelli got second. So huge props to Mercedes for getting P1, P2, but then amazing that I woke up that early to see Ferrari get P3, P4. So I'm very pleased and very happy. But obviously, they could have probably won the race had they done the pit stops on the two yellow flags. But the communication, the teamwork, and the team just didn't go with the plan that were logical. They just, I don't know. George, I think, pitted on the second yellow flag. So therefore, he had already pitted. He didn't have to go back in. And then Charles and Lewis had to pit later. And that put Russell ahead. So, and well, obviously put Antonelli ahead as well. It's those sort of mistakes that will be costly because Mercedes obviously were P1 and P2 coming into this. And then Charles led the race here and there. But then obviously it ended up with the Mercedes P1, P2, who I think may win the constructors this year, and George will be a huge contender for world champion this year. But I think Norris will get back in there. Piastri, this is just a spook. He will get back in there. Max obviously starting 20th and finished sixth. He's relentless. He's the best driver on the grid. Obviously, had he been like 15th at the start, he probably would have been in the top three. But sometimes it becomes a bit too much when the likes of Charles and George and Antonelli and Hamilton are too far ahead. Even Norris, I think, was too far ahead for him. But and it was four or five drivers that got ruled out. Piastri didn't start. Hulkenberg, he started from the pit. He was having issues at the start. He never came out. You had, was it Perez? Perez, I think, got ruled out, or his partner got ruled out. Bottinelli. Um, you had Alonso, he got ruled out. I'm trying to think. Hadjar, Bottas, sorry, Bottas. Bottas got ruled out. And Hadjar, he actually had a very, very good race. He was brilliant. And then his car just gave up. So that was unfortunate. And again, he did miles better than Liam Lawson. Liam Lawson, he's doing the exact same as last season. He never got going yesterday. But then you had Haas. Haas, however you pronounce him. They were brilliant. Oliver Bearman was brilliant. Uh, he was in the top 10. Yeah, granted, there was a few drivers that obviously dropped off and DNF and stuff, but obviously Damon started to perform. He got points on the board. Williams, I don't think got points on the board, so another bad one for Sainz, unless I'm wrong about that. Try to keep track of the whole um, grid. You got Perez. Perez came last technically, so not the best return for him. As I said, Albon and Sainz were in the bottom part of the team. Ocon fell off towards the end, but he started a pretty good race for the most part. Botanello and Behrman and Gasly, they were all in the top 10. And Lindblad, he was brilliant as well. He was in the top 6 for a long period of time, but obviously he couldn't keep up with the speed of Max and Norris. But yeah, for the most part, it was a brilliant race. I think I was, annoyed that Charles and Lewis aren't captive. I mean, there comes a point of where you go on the radio and say, "Look, we need to pit. Otherwise, it's going to compromise wins down the road. And obviously, I don't know if Russell would have won anyway, but at least take those opportunities when you can, especially when you get 2 yellow flags um, in the right times. But yeah, I mean, for me, if George does win the World Championship this year, very early again, Max could easily win it again. But I'd love, George's been brilliant in the last couple of seasons I've watched F1. I think it'd be excellent. I don't want to see McLaren win again. Norris was brilliant. I'm glad he won last year on the British run. But yeah, I hope McLaren just keep dropping down and we see Ferrari and Mercedes go for it this season. I hope Max is in the mix because he is brilliant to watch and he's definitely, like I say, he's definitely the best driver on the grid. But he's not going to win the constructors if I mean Lindland was only a few positions down, so it's definitely uh, not Lindland. He's racing bulls. Hadjar dropped out. So, but I think Hadjar will do very good this season. He'll be like Antonelli last season. And I think Antonelli will be, I think, one of the best drivers on the grid this season. But again, he started off good last season and dropped off. So again, we'll have to see what Antonelli does and whether he can keep that up for the rest of the season, the momentum and the ability. He's already got a podium and the lad's like 19. He's doing brilliant. So overall, I thought it was a brilliant race. Hoping for more from Ferrari. And we'll see what happens in China next week. Let me know down below in the comments your thoughts. Subscribe and like as always for more F1 content. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.